Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna, and we are still in the countdown to my book release, and I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about it. If you are as excited about it, or at least a little bit excited about it, along with me, put it in the chat area. Put that in the chat area. I mean, we are 4 days away from one of the most seminal moments, liminal moments in my life. What do you mean by that, Bishop? The fact is that it's not every day that you get your book published. You can publish your own book, but when someone finds your story, a publisher finds your story, and what you have to say worth printing and distributing, and then wow, that's a lot. That's a lot, and I'm thankful and grateful for the opportunity to share how you can make it even in the storms of life, leading through storms, successfully navigating ministry while maintaining your mental health. While maintaining your mental health. And maintaining your mental health, not just your peace, but your mental health is critical. So if you're as excited about it as I am, then put it in the chat area. Put it in the chat area. This morning it's all about the lonely roads we face. The lonely roads we face. How many of you know that there are going to be some lonely times? And what do you do in the midst of that? We talk a little bit about that in my book. And so I just wanted to share a snippet of that on this morning. Typically, you already know my routine, Manna Fam. I would typically give a trailer for the sermon Sunday, but not trumping that, just wanting to continue to celebrate the fact that I'm 4 days away, 4 days away, 4 days away. You already know. What do you do when you find yourself on lonely roads? And trust me, you are going to find that's life. You're not going to be, what does the word say? The word says that, that way that is so often traveled is not the best way all the time. Said the way that he goes is narrow and few walk therein. And few walk therein. There are going to be some lonely times. What are you going to do in the midst of that? Let me greet some folk, and then we're going to get right into the manna on this morning. Let's get right into the manna on this morning. Good morning, Ramona. You know you always the first one. Ella, how are you on this morning? Lenora, how are you on this morning? Pasha, how are you on this morning? Vicky, how are you? Brenda, how are you doing on this morning? Great morning that it is. Good morning, Laura. How are you on this morning? Elder Mobley, how are you doing on this morning? Vaughn, how are you? Gerald, how are you? Brother Nesbitt, how are you? Minister Sent, how are you doing on this morning? Brother Pope, how are you doing on this morning? Lydia, how are things on this morning? James, how you doing on this morning? Dawn, how are you? Denise, how are you? Valerie, how are you doing on this morning? Pamela, you're doing well. Somara, how are you on this morning? Verena, how are you? You know, um, I want to raise the question again, and that's what we're going to be talking about this morning. You know, the scripture teaches and speaks of the fact that the road that is really infrequently used is the road that you may or should find yourself on, the one that everybody's on. Wide is the way, many people travel it, or narrow is the way, and few therein. How many of you know? How do I make it on that road? That's what we're going to talk about on this morning, the lonely road. Good morning, Liz. How are you on this morning? Linda, how are you on this morning? Elder Sexton, Pastor Sexton, how are you on this morning? Great morning it is. How are you, Arlene? How are you, Francine? Hope you're feeling better. Hope Elder is feeling better as well. Lena, how are you on this morning? Melody Perry, how are you on this morning? Good morning. Good morning to everybody. If it's your first, second, or third time joining us on this morning, Sheree, how are you on this morning? Candace, how are you? If it is your first, second, or third time joining us, let us know who you are, where you are. We want to shout you out. And we are leading up to my book. You can see it on the screen. Love for you to get it. It's going to bless you. It will bless you. Trust me, it's going to bless you. We're also having, and you are invited. You're invited next Sunday. Love for you to be there after the 10 o'clock service, live music, free food, chef prepared. I'm going to be signing the book and meeting and greeting. It's just going to enjoy ourselves after that in the atrium part of our campus in the building. Love for you to be there. Make sure that you're there and bring somebody with you. Bring the book so I can sign it. That means you got to pre-order now. Got to pre-order now. There are going to be some there, but they're going to be gone. They're going to be gone. They already telling me that they're 70% into the first print. Don't be late. Don't be late. Get it now. Sheree, how are you on this morning? Let's get into this morning's manna. And this morning's manna is the lonely road. What do you do? How do you act? How do you make it when you find yourself, when it's just you on that road? The text to talk to take away 5 minutes or less. Let's jump right into it on this morning. Here it is, Exodus 33:11. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face as one speaks to a friend. The leader will find him or herself on a lonely road. And how do you make it then? Many times we say, I want the weight of leadership. Are you sure? Are you really sure? Then you have to accept the loneliness of it too. When you say, bring it on, loneliness comes with that. You're not crazy for feeling alone in the pressure. Moses felt alone in the pressure too. Solitude birth strategy. Solitude birth strategy. Leading through storms teaches you how to handle isolation without folding. It teaches you how to handle isolation. When I am leading, when I am alone, it's just me and I'm in the face of God, and how do I make it? Three things I want you to get. One is loneliness isn't failure, it's formation. Put that in the chat area. Loneliness isn't failure, it's formation. Many times when you are alone, leading or doing whatever, and it's just you, God is forming you in that time. That's what was happening with Moses. He saw the Lord face to face. It's not failure, it's formation. It's not that everybody has left you and you're wondering where are the followers. The fact is, in this moment, he's forming you. The second thing is this: the greatest wisdom comes in the wilderness. The greatest wisdom you will get in life and how to make it in life, you will find it in the wilderness. Wilderness has a way of helping you to find you. Wilderness has a way, as it was with the children of Israel, little by little, bit by bit, he had to find out what was in their own hearts, and they needed to find out what was in their hearts. The third thing is this: they might not understand you, but they'll still follow you when you come through. Everybody may not understand you, but when you come through that lonely period of being face to face with God, just like Moses came down from Sinai and they looked with awe. My God, you've been with the Lord. My book teaches you, how do I get there? How do I manage that? How do I manage those moments when I'm all alone? What's your takeaway this morning? Your takeaway is this: don't fear isolation, lean into revelation. Don't fear isolation, lean into revelation. My book will help you know how to lean into the revelation you need when you find yourself isolated. Hey, the Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. If this bless you, bless somebody else. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it. There's a fire word in the house on this Sunday. If you're in the area, please join us at 8 and 10. And I'll see you Monday. It's going to be Christmas Eve for me, the day before. How about that? God bless you. Share the manna. Bye now.